What up, YouTube? Today we're going to be installing a front camera on my 2020 Toyota Tundra. She is right here. So there's a few YouTube videos on this. That's pretty much where I'm going to be basing most of my instruction from. I ordered this one from Trail Grid Pro for like $30 extra. They would pre-solder the harness for you. So I went with them, and I think they had like 5% off. So here's what I ordered. Paid $220 for it. There was a little discount there. I think when you log on to the website, they give you a little code pops up. If you give them your email, they'll give you some money off, about 5%. So here's what I got in the bag. Like the harness here, this kind of their kind of pre-tape there. That's nice. Let's kind of see where they did their soldering. Must have been in here, and they kind of do a tape over it, and it's pretty. It looks like they did a decent job. So I'm glad I don't have to do any of that. And then here, you've got the switch it comes with. Let's take a look. Let's see if they. There we go. Here's the button. Comes with rear, front. Kind of toggle between your cameras there. Here's the actual camera itself. Kind of has a bolt on the back, so I'll have to drill a hole and see if I can kind of get a nut in there. Here's the nut, and you kind of, that's how you attach it. So we will see just how successful we are. Looks like it has a little bit of double-sided tape you take, and it has a little cutout there you can see, and then you put it on there. That also helps it stay in place. Start getting some of these twist ties off. There, and then you can kind of see there's some extra wires here. I'll have to kind of watch the video to see what, I think you, at some point you cut certain things if you want it to do a certain, whether you want backup lines or whether you want the camera to be upside down or right side up. I'll get my twist tie off of here. Get a pretty long wire here. So at some point, this would be my ground, I believe. I'll have to watch the video again, and I'll show you guys. Let me get this all set up, and then I'll check back in with you guys. All right. So we're back here, taking a look at our kit. So essentially, the camera there, here's your camera wire. You connect it to this collection of wires it comes with, right here. And you may not be able to see it too well on camera, but there's a little arrow right here, and there's an arrow there. They just connect. You'll, a slight little pressure click there, and that is connected. Then you follow this harness, and essentially you have this black wire coming off, and then this red and black wire. In their kit that they did the pre-soldering, they cap off the red wire and they connect to ground to the black one. So we'll watch the video and see where we can ground that. And then you keep following this black wire. So you kind of start to get to this big collection down here, where kind of all the magic happens. There's kind of a relay switch here. They kind of in this little area here, they've pre-soldered this red and green wire together. They've made our connections here, these little kind of push connectors. They added in another ground spot, and then these areas here connect behind my dashboard. So we'll start getting this thing run. This other connector here. And then it also comes with kind of instructions on this little camera loop on which wires to cut. There's a green, a purple, and a white. So here it's saying to use a forward-facing camera, cut the white wire loop. So I'll have to cut that white one. I think I'll probably leave the green wire uncut. So I'll just have to remember to cut this white one since it's a front-facing camera. Alright, so now we can get in the vehicle and start working on getting some of this paneling off so we can get the camera hooked up in here. I have a little bit different Tundra than most. I have the lift-up console, so you get a middle seat in the front. So I don't have the, usually there's a shifter console here. I just have the steering wheel shifter. And in case you ever wondered what this, if you were interested in this model, there's your console. It comes down. You have a nice storage area there, as well as here. You get a little bit of storage in there. Some cup holders. And then this goes back up. And then you also get some storage under the seat, which is kind of nice. But I think what I'll do is I'll start by taking this panel off. There's a screw back there and a screw on the other side, and that should be able to pry off this part here, and then this part you kind of pry off and you can lift up there. So we'll work on doing that now. Here's the kit. I got it off Amazon. It's kind of your standard Chinese made Pry Tool Kit, but it also comes with a lot of the push pins, some gloves, a few little connectors there, these little tiny tools which help get certain things. These clip pliers help get clips off, and then a few little picks and whatnot that are pretty helpful. I'll put a link in the description where you can get one of these on Amazon. So in case you have this model, kind of hard to see here, but this is actually a little push connector back here. Comes out. And it just pulls out just like that. Let's see here. Yep. So that's it. And then you kind of just, when you get ready to push it back in, just kind of do one of these and get it in there. There's one more on the other side I'll get. So supposedly you don't want to go too deep here. You just want to get a little bit. There it goes. And I'm very happy that it's starting to come out. I was a little worried that with this specific model, let's see if I can get my lighting a little better here, I would have a hard time getting this thing out. But it looks like we're okay. So we'll get this out here. But the key is just not to go too deep. You just want to get a shallow grip down here with a kind of aggressively curved tool. As you can see, these ones weren't working as well with their kind of flat. Like I was going too deep, not getting it. It's kind of real shallow lip that you just want to curve around. So I should be able to get this out here. I know there's some clips. Get a pry tool in between here. There it goes. And then you just disconnect all this stuff back here. And before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery too. All right, so grab a 10 mil. Loosen up your negative battery terminal. And sometimes it'll want to come off easier than other times. Mine's pretty corroded on already. So with a little help of a pry bar, kind of comes off nicely there. And when I put that back on, I'll put some more dielectric grease on it. You just kind of tuck it back here, and that should be good. All right, now that we got the battery disconnected, we can go ahead and start disconnecting these connectors here. If we can start to get them. The cigarette lighter looks a little more difficult to remove. So I'm just going to kind of leave that on there, I think. In the meantime, I need to find a new button. I think I'm going to use this one. So you pop that guy out, and that's where my new button is going to go. So here's the button that comes with the kit. Pop it up. Has a nice factory kind of look to it. You hit the rear, shows you the rear camera. You leave it there, it's in normal, kind of normal mode. Hit the front, it'll show you the front. And this is where the connector is for our harness that it came with. So in the meantime, this should just come out with a pull. Don't want to crank too hard on it. I may have to grab my fancy pry tool. There's one side, take the other side out. Kind of gives you nice even pressure here, so that you don't break as many of the clips. Even right there, I sort of hard up the factory sticker a little bit. Kind of pressure that down. And this just has the one clip. And that comes out completely, the climate control box. So that's something to watch out for there. Kind of, let me see what you guys are talking about. I don't know if you can see it on the camera too well, but there's sort of like a sticker here. This is kind of a fragile area here, it looks like. You can kind of see that I was in there a little bit. But now we just remove some screws using an extension. And supposedly there's 4. I only see 2 here. I think some of them might be way in the back there. So I'll figure out which one of those screws to take out and I'll come on back. So there are 4 screws. There's 2 up front and there's 1 back in here that you can kind of see on the camera there. The right angle. So you get, these are 10 millimeter on an extension. Start loosening them up. These ones here while they're not too tight. These ones you can do by hand at that point. So I'll get these 4 screws out and then check back with you. Alright, so I got the 4 screws out. So this should now just pop out. And you just kind of apply even pressure and don't get too concerned. It will eventually come. 1. It's in there tough. And there it comes out. And this you just flip up and you get a towel ready like I did. And now you can just flip it up, put it on the towel here. That gives you access to all your connectors there. Alright, so we need to remove this white and this gray one here, and I think it's impossible to do this without a small screwdriver. Make sure you don't pull on these wires. If you pull out the back of one of these, then you're pretty much screwed. So that's the scary part of this video. So the tab is depressed. See if I can, still doesn't want to come out. There it goes. So there's a little tab in there that's slightly confusing, but yeah, I don't think you could get these out without a screwdriver, unless you kind of know where that tab is. You've done this a lot of times. So much success. So this one here that essentially doesn't have a whole lot else hanging off of it. And I'll make sure I get it all nice and untangled off camera here. There we go. This guy looks like this one, goes into the gray. Make sure you hear the click. It's a nice click there. And then we can reconnect this part. To where the gray one went. Get a nice click again. And then this one here that has all the kind of the yellow hanging off of it. That's where you connect your white one. Goes. You get a nice click there too. And then you take this end. And you get it right there. So this next part, you can kind of reach behind here. Just apply some pressure. Maybe they made this look easy in the video. This guy pops out pretty easily. And when you pop these out, always make sure you have your yellow clips here. And now you have access to this whole area for running this RCA cable out to your engine. So this whole mangled mess here, we're going to run back behind here. So let me get it cleaned up a little bit. And this is the part that connects to our camera out there. So you have both that as well as the ground that you ground in the engine. So there's going to be two grounds for this whole project. One you ground in the engine bay, and one we're going to ground here behind the dash, and we'll look at that in a minute. So now that I got this nice setup, I'm going to go ahead and run these back here. So in this next part, you can kind of take a big coat hanger, kind of undo it, and then tape your RC harness on there. Then we're going to kind of fish it back through here. Goal is to get it kind of all right. So I got the wires taped to this coat hanger. And we're going to kind of reach my arm back underneath there. And I got them here. And they come out here. And at this point I can untape them for at least a little bit. I may have to tape them up again when I push them through the firewall. Then I'll just pull everything out. And then the next kind of stage is we'll kind of figure out where everything's going. We'll get our slack all through here. Okay, that's why. And down here, this is our connector for our switch that we installed earlier. Kind of just get it the right way there. And there you go, the switch popped in. I kind of popped it out when I was making my connection there. Now I've got my switch connected. And then we'll have to find a place back here to secure our ground right here, which we'll have to find a screw, which shouldn't be too hard. And this is the white wire you're supposed to cut if it's going to be a forward-facing camera. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that now. There you go. Got that cut. And we'll see how it looks. All right. So I was able to get it through the firewall, through that grommet there, kind of reaching in from below the passenger side glove box. And then I put up a little cable guide over in that corner and then ran it through here, put some electrical tape to kind of tidy it up. And then just go handy dandy zip tie there. And then kind of ran it under here. Have my camera coming down here. I'll show that to you in a minute. And then another zip tie here. Ran it down through here. Another zip tie there. And then I have it grounded on to where my battery grounds. I think the big tip is it's really hard to get it through there. I would say make a little hole kind of right below. There was like a little thing poking out there that I'm going to have to kind of patch up a little bit, but poke a hole underneath that. And then I took off this wire cover, or electric box cover, to give myself some extra working room. So you can always put that back on, but it's nice to have off when you're doing the work under here. All right, so got the wire kind of zip tied back in there in two spots. Then we're gonna go ahead and put this cover back on and then start working on getting that back in. That popped in nice, easy. So that's good. All right, so I can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel now. I've got the ground. I'm going to ground it to here on the radio. That's what they did in the video. Of course, Trail Grid Pro, they used, the guy on their video was like, oh, I just soldered an extra piece of wire to make this one longer, which it doesn't come with their pre-soldered version like that. So I'll have to call them and tell them I want my $30 back because they didn't do that. So hopefully I'll still be able to, once I put the radio in, fish this down. I'll probably fish it down. Unfortunately, I can't fish it under this, but I can fish it down through here. This is my plug for my switch. So let me go ahead and try all that. So I started the truck up, saying loading, starting. Appears to be running regular, probably just doing a reboot. Continue. Got everything put back together. It all pops in nice. Can't even tell that it's been out, which is good. Got my plug down here. We'll hit front, and there's my front camera, as you can see. And then you hit rear, and I have my rear camera. Put it in reverse, still goes to reverse, but I can put it to front if I want, even if I'm in reverse. If you leave it on neutral, it goes to reverse automatically, and then rear. Then hit front. The front gives you the light there. So a nice switch. So a successful project. I'll go ahead and finish up putting that bottom piece on. I think 3 main takeaway points. The first is that this kind of trim around here is real kind of sensitive, so don't pry up against it here. You'll get a little bit of a kind of a mark there. And then I know in one of the videos the guy tapped into the battery box or into the fuse box, but no one else did that on any of their videos. And as long as you ground it to the screw here and then the battery ground screw, you should be good. And then also that, take you around front here, I think the hardest part of the project is easily just getting it through that firewall port that you can't really see right now. But overall, I would say that was probably about a 7 out of 10 on the difficulty scale, getting everything taken apart. Not the easiest of jobs, but I now have a front camera. I still have to work on getting it mounted a little bit better. Here's where I am now. It's kind of sticking out. Get the light, get you guys a little better view. So I'll probably do a separate video on mounting it. You know, I'll probably, for now, just kind of get some double-sided tape. All right, so I got the camera installed here. I just have some double-sided tape on there right now. I'm going to make sure I like this position before I do anything more. There's not a whole lot of plastic behind here to drill into, so your options would be to kind of drill straight into one of these, either, and kind of mount it a little bit more horizontally, in which case you'd have to cut that purple wire. But I'll probably leave it there, and then I may see if I can get some bracketing material and use the existing kind of screw holes behind here to make kind of a skeleton network of brackets that'll get me a spot down here. But who knows, maybe this double-sided tape will stay on forever, and this will just be a problem for future urban outdoors and reviews. But thanks for watching, guys. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of caulk up around where that wire comes out over there with some black caulk, and get that all taken care of. Thanks for watching. There'll be some more Tundra stuff to come. Please like and subscribe. I'll see y'all later.